Let's see. The last time your girl was lamenting that she's a princess and it was archaic, and that romance hasn't been very good for her. Um, but she's going to this care fest, and so she can still do something for humanity. So we're on chapter 20. Let's see. Suspecting that the authorities might run checks on hair dye purchases, Bernard made his own coloring from roots and bark. It had a peculiar smell, but women did not find it unattractive. To Bernard, the odor evoked memories of vulture shadows and wolf howls, of cocaine, high explosives, and sure-footed steeds, of the hideout behind the waterfall. As for its effect on others, he'd been asked more than once if he didn't shampoo with root beer. He limited the dyeing to the hair on his head, and for that reason was careful to make love only in the dark. Once he spilled the dye all over his shoes. From then on, he dyed with his boots on. The 12 most famous redheads: Lucille Ball, comedian; General George Custer, military maverick; Lizzie Borden, hatchet woman; Thomas Jefferson, revolutionary; Red Skelton, comic; George Bernard Shaw, playwright; Judas Iscariot, former; Mark Twain, humorist; Woody Allen, humorist; Margaret Sanger, feminist; Edna St. Vincent Millay, libertine poet; Bernard Mickey Wrangle, bomber. Those redheads, huh? From this list, the analytically minded might conclude that persons with red hair tended to be either dangerous or funny. But of the dozen, only one ever had to hide his or her hue. Even Judas flew his natural colors. Judas Iscariot top. How did Bernard feel about dressing his woodpecker strands in suits of crow? From the admiring looks he aimed at Lechere's crown and Halikawa's, a shallow observer might be inclined to compare him to a connoisseur of rubies trapped under a coal chute. Upon more careful examination, however, one would have to report that he took a nearly delicious pleasure in smuggling his curls about, their blaze concealed from the cold eye of the law by the thinnest millimetre of pigment. And of course, Bernard, as all men, carried around in his trousers the most renowned redhead of all, characteristically funny and dangerous. All right, I hope that uh, this second reading of this book makes you happy in some way.